Do you remember the moment you started losing yourself? One morning you look in the mirror and you don't recognize the person staring back. Even your smile isn't yours anymore. You've adjusted it so many times to match what other people expect that you can no longer tell where your real face ends and the mask begins. Most people call this adapting. They call it kindness, flexibility, maturity. But according to Jean-Paul Sartre, this is one of the most quiet betrayals a person can commit against themselves. It doesn't kill you all at once. It wears you down slowly, day by day, without you ever noticing. Sartre didn't write this as a moral accusation. He wrote it as a diagnosis. He believed a person isn't born with a fixed essence. You exist first, and then you build yourself through the choices you make. But he also showed something darker. Most people are so afraid of that freedom that they hand it over to someone else. This video is about how that surrender begins, how it grows, and why it's a kind of death. Picture the same person in every friend group. The one who agrees with everyone, never pushes back, never lets the room get tense. Everyone calls that person easygoing. But look at it through Sartre's eyes, and you'll see something else entirely. A moment where someone hands their own consciousness over to how others see them. Sartre had a word for this, the look. The moment someone else's eyes land on you, you stop being a subject who simply exists for yourself. You become the object of that gaze. And once how they see you matters more than how you see yourself, you've already given your existence away. That handover never happens all at once. It starts small. You say, "I think," instead of stating what you actually believe in a meeting. You say sure to something you don't want, because you can't stand the tension that saying no would create. You play the role your family expects, because stepping outside, it feels like losing their love. And every time you tell yourself the same lie, it's a small sacrifice. It's just being polite. It's what keeps the relationship together. Sartre gave this lie a name, bad faith, the art of deceiving yourself, convincing yourself you're not free, even though somewhere you know you are, because freedom is heavy. Choosing means owning the consequences. And the easiest way to escape that responsibility is to act as if the choice was never yours to make. This is where it gets deeper, because the urge to please other people doesn't actually come from kindness. It comes from fear. Fear of being abandoned, fear of being alone, fear of not being loved. That fear is so old that most people never even recognize it as a feeling. They just say, "That's who I am." But for Sartre, saying, "That's who I am," is itself a philosophical escape hatch. A person isn't born with a fixed nature. You exist, and only afterward do you build yourself through what you choose. So the sentence, "I'm just someone who always tries to please people," isn't a fact. It's a defense, a shelter built to avoid the responsibility of changing, and that shelter comes at a cost. Every time you suppress what you actually want, a thin crack opens between your inner world and how you act. At first you don't notice it, but over the years it widens. One day you look in the mirror and realize the face looking back isn't one you chose. It's a collage stitched together from other people's approval. Think about your career. You keep stretching your own limits to get promoted, to be liked, to avoid being called difficult. Every time you stretch, you tell yourself it's strategic. But Sartre catches you here without mercy. Strategy is just a polite word for covering up your own freedom to choose. What's actually happening is that your existence is being shaped by what someone else expects of you. And this is where the real danger shows up. Someone who keeps adjusting themselves to other people's gaze eventually loses their own. They stop knowing what they want and only know what's expected of them. In Sartre's terms, this is a full retreat from yourself, a shift from being the subject of your own consciousness to becoming the object of everyone else's expectations. Calling this a kind of death isn't an exaggeration, not a physical death, an existential one. Because for Sartre, the thing that makes a person human is the capacity to choose. Someone who keeps handing that capacity to others is technically still breathing, but they've stopped being the author of their own story. They've become an extra in a script someone else wrote. Here's the cruelest irony. People do all of this to be loved. But what they actually get isn't love, it's invisibility. Because someone who truly loves you wants to love the real version of you, not a reflection engineered to please them. The more of yourself you give away, the less of you is actually left to love. There's a line from Sartre's play No Exit that points straight at this. Hell is other people. Most people misread it as if he meant other people are inherently bad. But what Sartre actually meant runs much deeper. Hell is constantly borrowing your sense of existence from other people's eyes. It's needing someone else's verdict instead of trusting your own. Losing yourself never happens in one moment. It happens through small surrenders, small yeses, small silences. But every moment of choice is also a moment you can turn back. As Sartre put it, a person is always free to choose themselves again. Choosing today based on your own judgment, not someone else's gaze, is the first step toward stopping that loss. Hell isn't other people. Hell is every moment you choose to hand yourself over to them.